Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the magnificent, the massive, the Maw-Grunta, the Tuskboss on Maw-Grunta. Here he is. My goodness me, check this guy out. What an absolutely enormous miniature. He's really big, really very big, and he's very impressive. I love this one, looks amazing. We're going to be painting it up today using Contrast Plus, of course, and it's been sent to me early by Games Workshop to build up and paint for all of you, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So massive thank you to them for this one, and well, I think it's probably about time we jump right into it. It's been primed in Wraithbone, and the colour we're going to be using first is some Ratling Grime, and we're basically going to be applying this over, well, pretty much all of the pig. So we're going to start here on the ear. What we want to do is we want to get this over the top of all of the flesh and all of the hair. So with all of that Ratling Grime applied to all of the skin and all of the hair on our big pig, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Berserker Bloodshade and we're going to apply this in a couple of little places on the pig's skin. So firstly, we're going to apply this just in here. On the ears. Like that. And we'll do the same thing on the other one as well. Like so. We're going to apply this over the top of the nose and snout. Like so, and we're also going to apply it over the top of the pig's lips. Like that, and then we just bring it round the tusk. Just like that. And then we're also going to apply this over the eyes. So with that Berserker Bloodshade applied, we're then going to take some black Templar and we're going to apply this over top of the rest of the pig's skin, but not the hair. that. But what we will avoid is that little area of cheek in here near the lips. So with that black Templar applied, we're then going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the fur. Give us this really nice dark reddy brown. So with that all done, we've got this really gorgeous looking pig, but there's still more to do. So of course what we're going to do is we're going to take some Shyish Purple now. I'm going to apply this inside the mouth, over the gums, and over the top of the tongue. So with all that Shyish Purple applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to apply this over the top of the teeth and the tusks. So I'm just going to start with this tooth just here. So with that all done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of the hooves and the little claws. So with that Black Legion all applied, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of our leather straps that can be found all over the Maw-Grunta. So with that now done, the moment we've finally been waiting for is upon us. We're going to be doing some of the yellow. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some Ironjawz Yellow next, and we're going to be applying this over a couple of very specific details. So we're going to apply this over the top of all of the armor around the head. So these large bits here. Like that. We're going to apply this over the top of the bit on the head and over the top of these little extra spikes just here on the end of the tusk blade. We're going to apply this over the top of this kind of front bit here. This really is a very lovely paint to work with. We're going to apply this over the top of this little gizmo here. And we'll also apply this over the top of this middle plate back here. Like that. Got this little spike here. Like that. Got this whole armor plate here, this one on the top here. I'm also going to go over the top of the middle one. Up here as well. Like that, and then also over the top of this. Bit there. We'll go over the top of these two down here as well. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of some more armor plates. So we're going to apply this over the top of this large one here. We're going to apply this over the top of any of the remaining kind of extra spikes. We've got some just down here, for example. But we're also going to apply this over. like that. We're also going to apply this over the top of the 2 armor plates on the back, either side of that yellow one that we've done. Just whilst we're waiting for all that Black Legion to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to apply this over the top of the big kind of whale tusks on either side of our kill rig. Kill rig? It's not a kill rig. Maw Crusher. It's not even a Maw Crusher, it's a Maw-Grunta. And so with all that Skeleton Horde applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors and we're going to apply this over to, well, pretty much all of the remaining details on the Maw-Grunta. So with that done, all of our base coats are now on the Maw-Grunta. So it is time to add some shades. And the first one is going to be some Seraphim Sepia. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the yellow. Just like this, and we're also going to apply this over the top of the large tusks. And with all of that Seraphim Sepia applied, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil and we're going to use this to shade all of our hard black details. So for example, this large armor panel just here. Like that, and we're also going to shade the hooves. Basically anywhere we did Black Legion. And with all that Nuln Oil applied, we're going to then take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to use this to shade all of the silver. Now, some of the things like the large rivets that I've picked out, we don't need to do them because they've already been shaded by the Nuln Oil and the Seraphim Sepia, so it's all good. So with that done, the pig itself is at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and it's looking pretty awesome. It's still drying in some places, but that's okay, because what we're going to do is move on now, and we're going to get the rest of it to a Warhipster battle ready, and then we'll highlight all of it, because there isn't too much variation here. It's just we like to do things in this piecemeal fashion to make it nice and manageable for us to paint. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to move on now to the crew, and the colour we're going to be using first is some Gutrippa Flesh, and we're going to be applying this over the top of all three of our oryx skin. So with that Gutrippa Flesh all applied, we are then going to once again take some Ironjawz Yellow, and we're going to apply this over the top of the armor plates on our crew. Now we're not going to do it over the top of all of them. I would recommend having the box art open to figure out which ones, because there's quite a bit of variation, but you can just kind of do this however you like. But we do still need to kind of replicate what the pig has got, in that we're going to have these three different colours of armor in the silver, the black and the yellow. So with all that Ironjawz Yellow applied, we're then going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over a couple of different details. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of their kind of tabards and cloths that they've got. And this is mostly just the Wrecking Crew. We're going to apply this over the top of any belts and straps. And we're going to apply this over the top of some, but not all, armor panels. So for example, on this guy's shoulder, the teeth, the helmet, Just various little details. You don't want to do this over all of the remaining armour panels, because of course we've got another colour to do. But you can really kind of add your own spin on it here. With that Black Legion all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over the top of all of their trousers. And with that done, we're then going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of all of the wood. So this is going to include areas such as these large totem pole-esque areas, as well as the wood on the weapons. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to apply this over the top of all of our bones and tusks. So we've got the horns here on this little effigy back here. Just like this. That sort of thing. We've got the other horn obviously, but we've got the kind of skull headgear around the boss. We've got the boss's teeth as well. And we've also got areas like the tusks, as mentioned. And with that done, we're then going to take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to apply this over the top of any of the kind of wrapped grips and things you've got on the weapons and on the armors around the legs and the arms. And so with that done, what we're then going to do is once again take some thinned down Iron Warriors, and we're going to apply this over the top of all the remaining details. And so with that now done, we're going to once again add some shades, and there's nothing new here. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Seraphim Sepia. We're going to use this to shade all the yellow. Just hitting a quick pause on the shading because we forgot to take some Volupus Pink and apply this over the tongue of the boss. Now that that tongue is done, we're going to take some Biel-Tan Green. I'm going to use this to shade all of the Agrax Flesh. Now that that Volupus Pink is applied, we're going to take some Biel-Tan Green and we're going to use this to shade all the Agrax Flesh. So with that now done, we're going to then take some Nuln Oil. We're going to use this to shade once again all of the black armor. And finally, we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to use this to shade all of our silver. So with that done, our Tuskboss on Maw-Grunta is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. And it's looking pretty fantastic already. However, we're not going to leave it there. Of course not. We're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to do this by adding some highlights. And, well, there's not a lot of highlights here to do, although some of the volume of the amount of highlights is quite a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our big ones, and then we're going to end with our little ones. And one of the first big ones is, of course, the yellow. So the color we're going to be using to highlight this is some Phalanx Yellow. And we're just going to start picking out all of the edges. Now, one thing to watch out for on all of these armor panels, including the back black and the silver as well, is that there's lots of kind of texture and things on the actual armor panels themselves. And this is exactly the type of thing we also need to pick out, so just be very careful as you do it. So with all that Phalanx Yellow applied, the yellow really comes alive. It looks absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the black armour, and we're also going to use this to highlight those claws that we did. The Black Legion, including the hoofs as well. So with all that Dawnstone all applied, we're then going to take some Administratum Grey. I'm going to apply this to the sharpest points on all of those hard black details. So with that all done, we're now going to move on to the next of our massive highlights, which is going to be some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the silver across the model, and then we'll be on pretty much the home stretch. So with that all done, it's now time to move on to other areas, because we've done all of the real kind of big chunky main highlights. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take some thinned down Baneblade Brown. I'm going to use this to highlight the pig's flesh, as well as any of the other black details we haven't done, such as the cloth on the backs of some of the Hakkin crew. Just like this. So with that done all over, as you can see, what we're then going to do is we're going to then take some Evil Sunz Scarlet. I'm going to apply this over the top of the pig's eyes and over the top of the war boss's eyes as well. So with that Evil Sunz Scarlet applied, we're then going to take a little tiny bit of Black Legion. I'm going to apply this on the pig's eyes. It's a little dot, just centered towards the front. Like that. From one set of flesh to another, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Ratling Green, and we're going to use this to highlight our Agrax green flesh now. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Slaanesh Grey, and we're going to use this to highlight the tongue. And so with that done, we're now going to apply our final highlight, which is going to be some thinned down Screaming Skull. Now this is a bit of a biggie, so what we're going to do here is we're going to use this to firstly add little spot highlights to the yellow, just looking for the sharpest points and corners. Just like that sort of thing. But what we're also going to do is we're going to use this to highlight all of our bones. So with the base complete, our Tuskboss on Maw-Grunta is now finished, and it is an absolutely fantastic addition to the Ironjawz. I can absolutely see Gordrakk running around with a couple of these, you know, some more best friends. I think it just looks absolutely fantastic, and it's wonderful, and it's brilliant, and it's a giant pig. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that, right? Like, it's a giant pig. Like, look at it. It's huge. It's humongous. It's lovely. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to support me a little bit further, you absolutely can do. Head over to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And you can also become a YouTube channel member, just like this incredible bunch of folks scrolling up on the screen before you. There's a hell of a lot of you, and, well, I can't do this without you. YouTube and Patreon, you guys absolutely keep the lights on and
make all of this worth it. Thank you so much to all of you for everything you do. And if you really like this video and you just want to shoot me a little thanks, you can click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.